Well, hello. I'm Arthur Odin. Well, again, I think it's time to make a little short video, and I think it's time to address the whole anti-foreigner sentiment thing, which I think, as Dogan points out, may be very well founded. Just watched Dogan's video on that, and I think it might be good to follow up with my own little 2 cents. I think, yeah, the issue of the Unification Church, I'm sure, is part of anti-foreigner sentiment and a very legitimate issue. There is an additional issue as well, which is that intelligence agencies, in their agent divisions, their insertion operation conducting divisions, and obviously we don't need to attack every single agency, we don't need to attack the entire agency, but in many of those agencies are very willing to physically harm Japanese people, as far as I'm aware. That's just kind of an issue. And that's, I think, is possibly a big fueling point for anti-foreigner sentiment. My own encounters with foreigners here can, sometimes they're very friendly, but it can still feel off. And then you talk to some people on the internet, or some of my English teaching colleagues, and it's really off. The willingness to harm and kill Japanese people and possibly Japanese children, in some cases, based on the conversations I've had, seems to be quite high. Obviously, this affects Japanese people's lives. It leads to their harm. I think a lot of Japanese people have noticed that problem. When unexplained disappearance happens, there can be some suspicions, especially if there's clear foreign involvement. Additionally, there's obviously the issue of harm to livelihood. You see a lot of businesses here. It's quite unclear how many ordinary Japanese people, people who are really Japanese, naturalized or native born, are actually able to own a business here. How many of them are actually able to get visa applications processed when they want to hire a foreigner? These are very critical issues of livelihood. Inability to run a business in your own country, especially in a country that has an official free market system. Japan has. There's generally a reasonable expectation to be able to run a business and earn an income. And it doesn't seem to happen here as much as people would like it to. I think there's some serious concern, and that Japanese people genuinely have. And I think that anti-foreigner sentiment is well founded. In my own life, I've seen far too much willingness and conversations to justify the murder and harm, possible insertion operations against Japanese people. And that's going to lead to some distrust of foreigners. You don't necessarily want to be meeting a white foreigner who's actually an SVR officer. That'd be a bit scary. Someone who's from the old paramilitary crowd from the 1950s may have very unsavory connections, especially by now. It's untold, how many strange ideological pushes in Japan were caused by paramilitary agents. I don't know how true some of those rumors are, but one certainly hears them. I think there's justified anti-foreigner sentiment on that basis. These kinds of people are very dangerous. They're the kind of people who threaten my own life, and I think Japanese people have picked up on that. Are all the responses to that sensible? Possibly no. But I think people notice that there are problems. There's a genuine and real worry, and I would 100% say yes, in my experience, a lot of foreigners, a lot of non-Japanese people are genuinely scary. And certainly if you talk to a lot of white people here, I'm going to be frank about, on the internet, they're just completely unhelpful. Some of them are just bizarre, some of them pretend to be Japanese, and others are just very weird people. So that's about it. I think it's on the right track in regards to the issue of anti-foreigner sentiment. And I think there's a deeper issue that's probably been persisting since the 1950s. It may now involve criminal organizations, community watch organizations, but at one point it was definitely centered around paramilitary agent operations divisions as well, probably back in the 50s. And this is an issue of foreigners causing harm, and I think people are now aware and on guard against it. I'm very grateful for all Japanese government support. I've never been provided any monetary support, of course. Japanese government is very lean and sensible, but I'm grateful to have received a visa, and I'm, as of this moment, able to spend time in Japan. Sincere thanks, Arthur Odin.